My name is Carter Cunningham, captain of the Hawkins for the 2022 fall season.
And I am Jack Cunningham, captain of the Dynamite for the 2022 Rnwl fall season.
And today we're going to be doing another podcast. So the first one was really fun, and we just went over some things, and that was preseason. We did power rankings, and we did a few things and just talked about everything. So now we're going to do the same thing, but mid-season. Every team has now played 4 games. We've done weeks by 2 games each, so we're not stopping at half 3. But yeah, let's get right into it. Jack, what's the first thing we're going to be talking about today?
First thing we're going to be talking about are the final teams in the name changes over the league. Mostly the Outlaws, but
multiple 2 teams.
Should we just go over everything we're gonna say?
No, it's fine. Let's just get
right
right into it.
Let's get right into the final teams and name changes. So I'll just pull this up. Okay?
The first team, why don't you?
Alright, so the Florida Flamingos are the first team we're going to be talking about. Jack Kennel, Dylan Freeman, and Dylan Puglisi. Dylan Puglisi hasn't been showing himself up yet, but he will be back for the next 2 games. Very exciting to see him play. Yes, he will. And he's back from vacation now, and it's going to be a fun time seeing him play. Dylan Freeman hasn't been really contributing to his team as much as Jack Kennel has. Jack Kennel has been a phenomenal pitcher and a great hitter as well. Dylan Freeman hasn't been getting a lot of contact, but he can pitch, and he's a great secondary pitcher for them. We'll see who Jack Kennel really reaches for when Dylan Pugs comes back, and maybe he'll pitch Dylan Pugs or Dylan Freeman. We do not know, but why don't you take it away with my team, the Downtown Dynamite card?
So the Downtown Dynamite has consisted of 3 really good players, and they're maybe the top team or one of the best teams in the league right now. It's led by captain on the mic right now, Jack Cunningham, and he's been a great leader, helping his team go pretty far so far.
Yep.
And he's led by also James as their second pitcher. He's been struggling to find the zone a little bit on the mound, and he's a little heavy on the pickoffs, moving up runners.
Yeah.
But definitely he can improve on some stuff and maybe come up big in the playoffs. And lastly, Jack snagged Julian from the second round. I like to say he's the most underrated player in the league. He's a really good contact hitter and he's a great first baseman.
I agree with that. Remember, I'll take it away with the Metro Muffins, Jack Schnars' team. Jack Schnars had a great draft and traded his team for Dev's team. Now he has himself and his brother, great dynamic duo, both amazing pitchers on the mound, and they're both racking up a ton of Ks. Both, I'm pretty sure, have over 10 Ks in the season so far. And so, but Elias has not been seen yet. But so every single every single time they've played, they've had to have a call up. But I mean, it's totally fine for them. They work through it, and their team is looking really good heading into the playoffs and heading into these last games. Ben been a force on the mound, and so has Jack Schnars. Jack Schnars has been probably the best hitter in the league so far. Leads the league, I'm pretty sure, in hits and home runs. Tied for league winner in home runs. But he's doing very well in hitting and pitching. But why don't you talk about the Spades?
So the Spades, they're interesting. Going into this, Dev is a great captain. He's been a great pitcher, and he can also be a force at the plate. But the trade, he actually drafted James, but he actually traded it to Jack on the mic right now for Will. So now they have Will. Will actually pitched pretty well in the one game that he pitched. And I like to say he got 5 Ks, I think. He did pretty well
all right
on the mound. And their final player is Tommy. Sadly, he faced an arm injury, but for the playoffs or for the next week, I think he's going to be back in action and he's going to start playing. So we'll find out how he's going to be playing.
All right, and I will take it away with the Prank Piss Missiles, and then you can finish up with your own team. But for the Piss Missiles, team captain of Max, his team is probably the best drafted team in the league. Max, Andres and Declan didn't have the best seasons last season, but now they are amazing. This trio is amazing. Declan, a contract hitter, and is tied for league in home runs, and so is Andres. So Andres and Declan, both two Pistons players, are in the lead for home runs, and Max forced himself, crushing it on the mound lately, and he also has hit a home run or two of his own. So I think this team has great hopes, and I think they're going to do really well in the playoffs. What about your team, Carter?
And so last is my team. Going into the first few weeks and games, I was actually pretty nervous. I wasn't completely sure about how my team would do, and we weren't looking the best. But I guess I didn't have too much faith in my players. But that ended up really showing out in week 2. So for week 1, in the first 2 games, we were doing pretty well, and I had 2 call-ups. But for week 2, both players came back, in Brendan and Matthew. And Matthew has been our best hitter so far. One of the best hitters in the league currently. And Brendan, he has a few Ks. I'd like to say 3 or 4. I mean, he's not the best pitcher, but from what I did for my team, I think they're doing really well. And Matthew has just been so good at the plate. It's just last season he was one of the one of the lower players in the league, but now he's really showing up and being one of the top players in the league right now.
He's really doing well.
And I like to say myself that I've been doing pretty good on the mound. I struggled in week 2 a little bit, finding the zone a little. We had some tight games, but we ended up playing it out.
Should we go over some game breakdowns, or should we just go straight into player power rankings?
Let's go over just a few game breakdowns because there's been some exciting ones. So I'll start with one. So actually, what I was talking about is it was actually my game against the Piss Missiles. It was a really close game, and we were up. I hit a switch hit grand slam. It was a really nice hit off Max, and we were up 6-1 going into the 3rd inning, and so the bases were loaded. And Max launches a grand slam. No. The bases weren't loaded. For second and third, right?
Yeah, second and third.
Yeah, second and third.
I do believe that.
And Max launches a home run. Probably one of the shortest home runs.
But it's still an over.
Yeah.
Of course.
But it was just a hard-fought game. I was struggling to find the zone a little bit. It all started in the 2nd inning. All the bad stuff happened in the 2nd inning. Oh, yeah. All the bad stuff happened in the 2nd inning. I put Brennan in. I was thinking of pitching full game, but since we were up 6-1 going into the second inning, I put Brennan in. But I wasn't completely sure. I thought I was going to pitch myself the whole game, but we ended up getting in a really big jam. So it was actually 6-6 going into the 3rd inning. And I don't know how many runs we put up that inning. I think we put up 9. Yeah, we put up 3 more runs. We got 9. So it was 9-6 going to the next inning. Max and Declan combined for 2 home runs. They were both really good players.
Crazy.
But I walk Andres, and then Max is back up to the plate. No. I think I struck out Andres, struck out Max, walked Declan, walked Andres, and then Max came back up. It was a 2-strike count. It was 2-2 or 3-2 count, and threw a great screwball to him on the lower half, and I just caught him off guard on a little quick pitch.
Great pitch.
So, I got him, but it was a very hard-fought game.
That was a very crazy game between two of probably the best teams in the league. And one more game breakdown I want to do is probably the longest game in our history. It was Muffins versus
6 innings.
Spades. 6-inning game. Crazy game. You probably need to help me with this one, Carter, because I don't remember a ton of things that happened in this game. But who pitched for the Spades?
So, interestingly, Will actually pitched really well. He got about 5 Ks in 2 innings. And then Dev came in because there's a 4-inning rule limit.
Yeah.
And he pitched full games, so that's 3, and he's one more, saving himself for last. But when we went to extras, the game was tied 2-2, and then they put up 6 runs. Oh yeah, they put up 6 runs.
Yeah.
So now
crazy.
they're up 8-2, and Dev was pitching.
It looks pretty good for them, right?
In third inning. It looked like they had it in the bag for their first ever win, and it would just be absolutely great for them. But sadly, they came back. They got bases loaded, got a ton of RBIs on great hits and some ground balls and some errors, and eventually tied up the game. They got out of it, and we didn't have that much time. We had to convince our dad to just give us a little more time to fit in, because we need to fit in one more game after this. But
Should we talk about the New York rule we had?
So we made up a New York rule because it was taking way too long, and we were putting a runner on third base.
Yep.
And we started with 1 out. If you didn't know, there's a California rule that they start on second base.
No, we did 1 out innings, right?
Yeah, we did.
Yes.
I already said that. We did 1 out innings. And it went so far. There was no pitch limits because the innings are excluding extras.
Yeah.
And we went to the 6th inning. Yeah, 6th inning.
Crazy.
And
Declan walked it off, right?
yeah, Declan walked it off with a 2-run home run. And I think
Crazy.
Declan had a 5-hit game with 2 home runs.
That was amazing. What a game for
He
Declan.
is hitting really well right now. But, I think that'll be good for the game breakdown. So, next one, we have a pretty interesting one. We've done normal power rankings and it's been a lot of fun, but we decided to do player power rankings. And it's just ranking all the players from what we have, seen.
We had a lot of changes, and this is kind of confidential information, but it needs to be put out to spread awareness about how everybody's doing, and just to show you, the viewers, your rank, and see if you can really propel yourself up the ranks. We can always share these later to people, but if you want to see your rank, just come up to me or you can come up to me or Carter, and we can tell you the ranks, or just any of the commissioners, me, Jack Hennell, Max, or Carter, and we can just tell you any of your spot.
So, here we go with the rankings. Let's start from 18. Jack, who do we have at 18?
At 18, we have Elias. Elias hasn't really showed up to any games, and he has not been doing that well at all. He has not been showing up to games. We don't really have anything to see from him. The one game he did show up in last season, he did not have a good game. So, from what we've seen, he's in last place.
In 17th place, the man with the injury right now is Tommy. As we like to say, he sold in the World Series.
Oh, yeah.
Dropped some pop-ups, got runners on, and then got some RBIs. It was a rough year last year for Tommy, but he hasn't played a game yet. But hopefully he can come strong and maybe go up in the rankings from the playoffs or in week 3.
It's always possible.
Jack, who is next in the rankings?
Next in ranking, taking 16th spot is Dylan Puglisi. We have not seen him play yet, but from what we've seen, from spring training, what we've seen him play baseball, we know that he's a monster at the plate. In his spring training game, he hit a double. I believe it was off Max, and it was a great hit. But that's all we've seen from Dylan. We saw him pitch an inning or 2 in spring training, but we haven't really seen a lot from him, so we're going to rank him pretty low. But based on baseball and the one spring training game we saw him play, we're going to give him 16th.
So next on the list,
15th spot.
We have Brendan on my team. He's been a pretty good pitcher. He's came over to our house. He showed that he could be a pretty good pitcher. Mm-hmm. Also in spring training, he won a lot of these just mini home run derbies. We were just messing around, having some fun. And also, he actually pitched pretty well and, hit that walk-off home run against the Flamingos.
I think he definitely has potential to be great.
Yep. And who's next on the list?
Next, we got Dylan Freeman. He showed us that he's been getting contact, and he showed that he has been pitching well, too. But we haven't really seen any power from him, from a power hitter from someone who usually hits for power in baseball. We haven't really seen a lot from him yet. But hopefully he can pick things up, get in a pitching groove, get in a hitting groove, and maybe he'll propel himself through the rankings.
Yep, so next on the list, we have also on my team, who have done so well and has been excellent in week 2, we have Matthew.
Matthew, crazy good hitting right now. He's been called up for a ton of games, but he's such a good contact hitter and power hitter at times. He's been hitting so well, and I really think I have strong hopes for him. The pitching on this pitching side, the pitching side is the reason why he's lower in the rankings. Even though he's hitting really amazingly, the pitching side is why he's pretty low, because pitching is valued extremely strongly in this league. So, that's all we're gonna be talking about from Matthew. I think he's got high hopes. If Carter can give him some chances pitching, he can really start doing some stuff. So next up in the list we have Declan. What do you want? You already got to say about him.
So I bet Declan could definitely be ranked a little higher, but we just have some pretty good players that are a smidge bit better than him. But he came up big, done really well as a hitter. Hasn't pitched the best, that's why he's a little lower.
Yeah,
higher up. But he's been a great hitter so far, one of the best we've had so far, and that's why he's at number 13.
And so next up on the list we have Julian. As a former teammate of him, you should probably talk about him, Carter.
So Julian is a great guy, and he just picked up the game of football and baseball in general.
Yes.
When we started playing last season, but he ended up really helping us win the World Series. But he's a great first baseman and is a good contact hitter, draws walks, and he actually hit the walk-off home run or ground level, whatever you call it. We still don't know about that.
Yeah.
But the walk-off in the World Series when we were down a run, that was huge.
Crazy.
It's probably going to go down in the many World Series and seasons we have as maybe the best World Series we've ever had.
Yeah. Julian just really showing himself at the plate. He has pitched in spring training, and I mean, I don't really know what to say about that. He gets outs in spring training, but I'm not going to pitch him this season. I'm sorry, Julian. We might if we're up by like 20 runs, but I don't want to risk it because I know there's some guys that can just sit on that slow pitch and just wreck it. So I'm not going to test him yet, but there's always a chance. Next up on the list, we have number 10, William Delaney.
And William has been a good contact hitter, and yeah, that was kind of cringe. He's been a great contact hitter, and he's been the Spade's second pitcher.
We have seen him hit for power too. You know how many home runs he has, right? He has 3 home runs in the season. No, 3 or 2. I can't remember.
2.
But he has been hitting for power, and he has shown his potential as a power hitter. I think he's actually going to be great, and even maybe a Silver Slugger candidate. But I don't really know about that yet. But yeah, of course, as you were saying, great pitcher for the Spades. He has good potential, and Dev's going to pitch him a lot this season. Unless Tommy comes back and maybe he gives Tommy some chances.
But I'm excited because we'll definitely see him in week 3, which will be on the 4th of September.
Yep.
So stay tuned to that.
9th on the list, breaking the top 10, it is Ben. What do you guys say about him?
So now we're into the top 10, and this is where these players get elite, and they're just a force in the league. And they've just been like the best players in this league. And they've just been really good. So, yeah. Now we have Ben. So, Ben has been a really good pitcher. He's been the Muffins ace.
For sure.
I'd like to say he has more than 10 Ks.
He has 12 strikeouts.
12 strikeouts. He's really shown up. And he's been doing really well. And,
he's been hitting and he's been pitching.
Yeah.
He's Shohei Ohtani. He's been a dual force for his Muffins team, and he's one of the main reasons that the Muffins are winning these games. Moving on, we got at number 8, Dev. Dev's ranking a little bit higher than Ben, a little bit more consistent, I would say, because Ben has allowed a ton of home runs, but Dev is really locking it down a little bit more at pitching. Dev has 13 Ks, one more than Ben, and has been pitching so well this season. His slider's been doing really well for him, And at
A
the
lot
plate,
of movement.
yeah, at the plate, he's also been crushing the ball too. I think he's definitely the best player on the Spades, hitting and pitching. Another kind of guy like Ben, who pitches and hits. So I have really high hope for him. But moving on, we got James. What do you got to say about James Carter?
So, James has been the second pitcher for
My team.
for his team, for your team, and he has a pretty good knuckleball and features a slider and also a fastball.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he should mix up his pitches a little more, and maybe try to find some new ones. Because, people can really see it out of his hand.
He is pretty much the only lefty pitcher in the league, other than maybe Matthew. So, that's why it's great to have him. And can we just talk about his Gold Glove level plays? His pegging, it can get wild at times, but when he does, it just shows how amazing he is in the field. He makes diving catches, and he's just such a great infielder to have on your team. That's why he's ranked 7, because he can also hit. I'm pretty sure he's maybe 5 ground ball doubles this season. He's hitting like crazy. He's on a hot streak right now, and he's been hitting so well. I'm very excited to see what he has in store for us later on in the season. Carter, taking on the 6th spot is Andres. What do you got to say about them?
Andres is a good hitter.
That's all you got to say?
No. He can hit the ball really well. If he made contact, that thing isn't just gonna boom, bounce, bounce. It's gonna go. Gonna go. For him, I would say he's definitely a power hitter. Has hit 3 home runs in week 1.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy. 2 walk-off home runs.
He's so clutch, dude.
He's crazy. And 2 off Jack Kennel.
Can we talk about how low? Can we talk about how low he was in the rankings before this? He was about maybe 14th to 12th in the rankings, but just because of that one day, he propelled himself. That shows how anybody in this league can just have one amazing day and be propelled up the rankings. So everybody just needs to keep on trying and just demolish the ball. Andres hasn't shown his pitching. He has shown his pitching a little bit. Max has given him chances to close, but mostly his hitting has propelled him to this spot, and he's just been so good at the plate. We couldn't not put him top 6. Moving on, Jack Schnars. Hitter and pitcher. Shohei Ohtani, again. Crazy.
Silver Slugger. He could work on the pitching a little bit.
A little bit, but
he's just so good hitter.
I know, dude. He's on the track for Silver Slugger yet again. He's so fast and he hits for power. It's just crazy. He can do it all. He's Shohei Ohtani and O'Neal Cruz combined. He's fast. He can hit. He can pitch.
Cruz is a fielder.
Yeah, I know, but he's super fast and he hits nukes. Shohei Ohtani pitches. Jack can do it all, and that's why we really honor pitchers and hitters in this league. That's why he's at the top of the list. He can pitch and hit, and now that makes him top 5 in the league. And now this is him and Andres are probably, any of these guys in top 10 are absolutely amazing, but this is the elite tier. Top 4 players in the league.
No.
All right, Carter, take it away with Max.
So now, the top 4 players in the league these are the absolute freaks of nature, I'd like to say. And they have just been an absolute force to this league and are just unstoppable in every single way. On this list, from what you see from top 4, everybody on the top 4 right now can hit and pitch and field, do anything, and can come up clutch at any time.
Yep.
So number 4, we have Max. Jack, what do you have to say about him?
Max is a special guy. Any of these top 4 can be interchanged and mixed around, but this is just the true top 4. Max, amazing pitcher. He's really coming around pitching, and that's getting him to top 4. And his hitting has been really coming around. Spring training, he was raking the ball, and he's actually been showing it in this regular season. Not as much as he's been in spring training, but he's been showing it, and it's just been amazing. Max really been hitting at the plate and pitching. A great amount of Ks, carrying his team, honestly, and his hitting has just really come through. What do you got to say about the next guy on the list? Number 3, Jack Kennel.
So actually, there's been a little bit of a debate between Max and Jack Kennel, and possibly on how these players do. They can possibly get swapped at any point, and they're both very similar. My bad. So now we have Jack Kennel. He's featuring that nasty screwball and banana ball and slider, and it's just been a great combination and get those hitters off balance. Also, he's been a really good contact hitter and draws a lot of walks. What we've seen is it's kind of annoying to face him. He tries to play a little bit, but gets on base a lot.
He has hit a home run as well. He has hit a home run.
And his first at bat.
He has showed his power, for sure.
So, and that'll do it for Jack Kennel.
All right.
So now
I'll talk about you. You talk about me. All right.
So now
talk about me.
We now
at the 2 spot.
Jack
It's me.
Cunningham. He's just such a nasty pitcher. Absolutely disgusting. If you face him, you will literally throw up. I'm not even kidding. You'll literally get the Black Plague. You'll get sick.
Oh.
And he's just so dirty. Like he features nasty riser that well, people would say it skims the floor, touches the turf, touches the grass. It's disgusting. He has a nasty drop ball that goes from the top to bottom of the zone, and surprisingly, he hasn't been hitting to his top, to his best. But if he can improve on that, he can definitely be the best player.
For sure. And now I just gotta talk about the best guy in the league easily. Take the number.
No, not easily.
Not easily, but extremely good player. Carter Cunningham, youngest in the league, but best in the league. Shows that no matter how young you are, you can still be amazing. All right. And so his pitching. Do I even need to say anything? We know the best pitch in the league is his screw job. It goes from a ball outside the zone 5 feet, and it comes right to your kneecaps. It is so freaking disgusting. It drops and screws at the same time. Good luck hitting that. His riser, he's been incorporating it lately. A great pitch. Throws it fast. Throws it consistently. His slider, another consistent pitch of his. Great pitch. I really love it. And his drop ball. Oh my god. His submarine drop is just like, woo. And it just paints the zone. It's one of his most consistent pitches, in my opinion.
I like to say I have some better secondary pitchers. I'd like to say a few of them. So I have a fastball that I rarely throw, but it can drop a little bit. I have a pretty good slurve where it's like a little bit of a cutter. Also, I do have a cutter. It drops a lot, but the slurve goes into the batter and cuts into the zone. It's a bit of a slower pitch, but sometimes it can pound the zone. And I'm still working on that pitch to see if it could be one of my
always working on those pitches. He gets up at like 12 o'clock p.m. and works on his pitches, gets the strike zone, and just works on it. He needs to be devoted to this league to be good, all right? And Carter can say that.
Yeah.
But now that we are done with the individual power rankings, we'll be talking about the records and standings of each team. And, let's just get straight into it. So, what do you think is the best team in the league? Be honest. Who do you think has the most potential? Who thinks is the best team in the league, Carter?
I say you guys.
Really?
Yeah. I don't
Why?
think my team has potential just because we're 4-0. I don't think my team is the best that it could be. I had a bit of risky trades, but hopefully it can pay off. And I think your team is the best.
Okay.
Because you have everyone gives different things to the team and does different stuff. and helps the team in a different way.
All right, so let's just get straight to the standings. For the National League, Hawk Guns are in the number 1 spot, have clinched the number 1 spot in the NL. Crazy good team. I'm loving it. Flamengo's taking the number 2 spot. Another great team.
1-3.
1-3.
Can have some work done.
Could definitely have some work done.
But has much potential.
And Spades, they're so close, man. If they put all the pieces together, they can really start winning.
They almost got that
win against the Muffins.
So close.
Oh man. But AL,
I mean against the Piss Missiles.
I'm gonna say it. The AL is more stacked than the NL. Dynamite, Piss Missiles, Muffins, crazy good league. It's gonna be crazy for the playoffs. I'm excited to see.
And for the All-Star game and the home run derby.
Anybody could get the 1 spot here. If my team loses both games, on the 4th, and it's always a fight. It's always a fight. There's nobody who's clinched the 1 spot. If my team went 4-0, we would have clinched the 1 spot. But now it's a fight. So my team Dynamite is currently 3-0. Piss Missiles 2-2 and Metro Muffins 2-2. Just such a stacked division.
Here's the thing. They're actually playing us. So if we beat them, then if they clean sweep that week, then they're the 1 seed.
Knowing Carter,
if they don't.
Knowing Carter, he's probably gonna pitch himself against me. I'm gonna be very sad.
I'm gonna pitch myself.
I'm gonna be a very sad boy because he wants me to get kicked out of the 1 spot. I think we're still a great playoff team. All 3 of these teams in the AL are great playoff teams. But so far, I think that's all we need to do for record standings. Pretty easy. But for the last segment in the video, we have gone through exactly 32 minutes on the dot. Now let's talk about the stats and the stat leaders. Right now, mid-season, it's exciting.
Let's go!
This is exciting.
This is a new thing to our league. We bought a stat book, and we do so much work to this.
Yeah.
We've been so devoted to it, and it's just so much fun to see all the stats.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. So here, why don't you take away with the Ks, the strikeouts?
So we have these.
And this not to be confused with strikeouts while you're batting. It is strikeouts for pitching. Pitchers, whenever you get a strikeout, it is counted and is put as the stat. These are for pitchers.
We would not put a league leader in striking out.
Of course.
We're going to do league leaders for base on balls. So now we have the leaders for Ks. First in Ks, we have the man on the moon.
Oh yeah.
Jack Cunningham, and he's just been a force and just a really good pitcher, and definitely a Cy Young candidate.
Next up on the K's leader, number 2, Carter Cunningham himself, other man on the mic, top 2 K's leaders right here.
Top 2 players.
Yeah.
And honestly, the annoying part is, I think that I could be number 1 in K's because.
Yes,
we had
your
a
game.
We had a forfeit
Yes,
again.
your game against the. You still have one more inning to play against the Spades, and
no, 2 more.
Sadly,
2 more.
Yeah, sadly that game got postponed. No, not postponed. Actually canceled, and the Spades had the forfeit.
You just got the win, though.
But
We got the
so Carter's team got the win, but that's probably the main reason that he's falling behind in Ks because of that. And number three doesn't really come as a surprise. It is Devin Asher at 13 Ks.
Dev has been the ace for the Spades, definitely. And, doesn't walk many people, but he's good at finding the zone and, getting strikes and putting pressure on the batters.
For sure. Now let's go over the hits. We got 2 ties for first and 3 ties for second. So it's gonna be fun.
For third,
yeah. So
number 1 we have Jack Schnars.
Yeah.
Tied for number 1 as well we have Matthew. Both of them have been just really good at the plate, and they've just been seeing the ball really well off the pitcher's hand, and just like putting a lot of bat on ball and just getting on base.
A lot of contact from these guys and really doing their job at the plate. Now 3-yard tie. Now we gotta get into 3-yard tie. So what is the three-way tie?
The three-way tie is between Declan.
Oh no, it's a four-way tie. My bad.
Yeah.
Four-way tie.
It's between Declan,
Dev,
Will,
James.
and
All have 6 hits.
all 6 hits.
Very close
It's
to the
really
one spot.
impressive. Done really well. And next we have homers in first place. All of them are tied for first. And
Oh, yeah.
Jack, what are them?
All have
We have Jack
all have
Schnars.
3 home runs. Jack Schnars, again, number 1. Crazy good at the plate. Jack Schnars definitely getting Silver Slugger this year. Well, we don't know that.
What? Definitely.
No, I think he's definitely a Silver Slugger candidate. But we'll see. What
Now
else?
we
What's
have
next?
Jack Schnars. Declan.
Declan really showing his power hitting. Spring training only had 1 home run entire, and he has not done anything in the
Yes.
home run derbies. But we have seen home runs from him this season, and it's crazy to think about that. Usually a contact hitter, tied for first in the league. Very exciting to see. And now Andres with 3 home runs through the course of 4 games played. Wow. I mean, when you hear his name, you just think Nuke, you know? And he's showed that by hitting 3 home runs. So I'm very excited to see how he hits later in the season. So yeah, that's pretty much it for all the stats. We're only keeping track of 3 stats. Not batting average. It would be way too hard in my opinion because we started too late with the stat books. But that's all for this mid-season podcast. I hope you guys all love this, and I hope everybody's now caught up with everything that's happening in the league. Oh, we forgot to go over the name changes. Outlaws went to Williamsport Wave, and then went to San Diego Spades.
And then
That's it.
And the Brooklyn Bananas went to the Florida Flamingos as well.
That's all the name changes, but there it
Actually,
is.
they changed their name twice.
They
San
did.
Diego Spades. They started as the Outlaws.
Yeah, I know.
Then
I
went
said
to
that.
the Williamsport Wave.
I said that, yeah. But we will end that video off. I think it was a great podcast. What do you think about that, Carter?
Yep,
It was fun?
it was very fun.
I had a lot of fun.
And stay tuned for the 4th. And I don't know when
Third
we're doing.
podcast.
No, the
Oh,
4th.
fourth,
When we're playing.
4th September.
Yep.
It's gonna be.
And
It's gonna be exciting.
very fun. And
Mhm.
we're gonna have playoffs soon after that. And
Yep.
it's gonna be so much fun. So, stay tuned. And we also have a TikTok channel. And
Yep.
it's kind of fire.
It's called
So-
Rnwl 2022. So I'm very
Yep.
excited for the growth of that TikTok channel. Go check it out, and we'll
We
see you
have
guys.
We have multiple.
We'll see you guys on the
Okay.
4th, and we'll see you guys at the next podcast. So in 9 seconds we'll end this because then it'll be exactly 30
See you later. I'm Carter
38 minutes.
Cunningham.
And I'm Jack Cunningham.
And this is us signing out.
Peace out.